Yo guys, Haku here with a Walking Dead death prediction. If you don't want comic spoilers, you probably shouldn't be watching because I will get into them. I will not get into show spoilers though, because I think that they're ridiculous. I think that there's no reason to look up what happens ahead of time. Just have fun with it. Make your predictions, see if you were right. Enjoy the show for what it is. I feel like looking ahead of time ruins it for me. And I probably get a little bit preachy saying that at the beginning of every video. But yeah, think show spoilers are bad. No one's interested in them. So don't post them in the comments because that's a dick move to people that are just browsing YouTube. So yeah, gonna get into the actual prediction. So of course I think that when we come back from this mid-season break, we're going to have a definite minor death or two. I personally think that as soon as we get back, we're going to have Sam and Jesse dying. That's just my personal thought. I think they're going to die episode 9, but I do think Ron's going to survive, and I'll get into a little bit more of that later. And I think the season finale, of course, we're going to have a big death. Something big is going to happen, big death. That said, for the middle of this second half of the season, there was an important death to the plot and character development that happened in the comics, which was, and here's where spoilers start, Abraham's death. But Abraham is not getting that death. I don't think anyone thinks he is. I certainly don't think he is. But who is getting that death? Now, many people think that the one getting that death is going to be Tara. I like Tara. I certainly hope not. I don't think it would be a very good death for her at this point. But I personally think that it's going to be Rosita. And with my prediction of Rosita dying Abraham's death, I'm going to give my reasoning why. And my reasoning why has pretty much everything to do with why Abraham died, what his death did in the comics. Now, the effect that Abraham's death had in the comics, Rick finding out that he was dead, especially with the scene where he's on the other side of the fence, it's sort of puts Rick at a loss. He's sort of in shock and lost because he just lost one of his own to the Saviors, one of the people that was with him from before he even came to Alexandria. Now, Abraham's best friend, Eugene, of course, Eugene gets pissed off, wants revenge. It does a lot for Eugene's character that I think is important and still necessary for Eugene's character. Now, Abraham's former lover in the comics, Rosita, who was still upset at him and not on good terms with him, is now upset because he died and they were on bad terms when he died. So that, of course, upsets a person, and it keeps Rosita alive to pursue a romantic storyline with Eugene. And Abraham's new lover, Holly, it sort of inspires her to fight. It gives her a reason to fight against the Saviors, and it causes her to later, spoilers again, big ones, it causes her to later sacrifice herself. So talking about all of that gets me into why I think Rosita's death would do pretty much the same thing for the TV show characters. Even do it in a better way, I think. So the first point is, how do we get Rick to that point where he's lost and he's like, wow, one of my own just died. I don't know what to do. The Saviors killed one of our own that have been with me from before we came to Alexandria. I think show Abraham is too large of a character to do that to. We need a large character, but not quite main cast large. So I think that Rosita's the perfect sized character, like, so to speak. I don't know how my wording is on this, but Rosita's a good choice for this because she's been with Rick a while, and I think it would have that sort of effect on him and his core group, but without the show having to lose one of the biggest characters. Now, this also is going to have the same sort of effect on Eugene that Abraham's death did, because show Eugene and Rosita are very, very close. They're very good friends, it would seem, almost having like a brother-sister sort of relationship. So her death would cause Eugene to be angry and want his revenge and really just give him that fire to fight against the Saviors. Now, in killing her, assuming that before it happens, we're going to get her and Abraham splitting off, and then Abraham's gonna probably try to be getting with Sasha, and Rosita seems like she's sort of starting to build a relationship with Spencer in some way. There's just sort of starting to build a relationship there. They've been shown together enough to kind of make that jump for me. So this means, as her former lover, likely still on bad terms with her, Abraham is going to be all distraught because he was on bad terms with her. He just left her for Sasha, and now she's dead, and he can never repair their relationship to one another because she's dead. So that gives him that sort of character development, and it leaves him alive to pursue a romantic storyline with Sasha. And in it being Rosita and not Tara, it allows Tara to sort of stay alive to build on the romantic storyline that she likely has going on from what we've seen with Denise. Now, this could also lead into having Spencer as sort of the new love interest for Rosita, now just angry and inspired by her death to go and help Rick fight against Negan, because to me, Comic Spencer is a lot different in personality than Show Spencer. So I think Show Spencer going and fighting against Negan and having the sort of sacrificing himself moment that Holly had, I really feel like that fits the Show Spencer well, and I think I could really see him going there. That's why I'm making this whole prediction. Now, for you, those of you that'll ask, well then who's taking over Comic Spencer's storyline? I don't think anyone particularly needs to take over that storyline, but if anyone does, I could see Ron taking over that storyline very easily. He survives this No Way Out storyline, and he has this sort of boiling anger against Rick, and I could see him taking over Comic Spencer's storyline. Maybe not in as serious and brutal a way, but I could see him going that route. As for how the death happens, I don't think it's going to be the same as how it happened to Abraham, but I think it'll be very, very similar. I think Dwight or one of his men will likely shoot her, and maybe Eugene is with her while she's dying, something to that effect. That's about how I see this going. So yeah, in the end, that was the prediction I have, and I honestly do think it's a pretty good one, that somewhere in the middle of this second half of the season 6, we're going to have Rosita die in place of Comic Abraham's death. So yeah, guys, like if you liked it at all, share with your fellow friends and Walking Dead fans that would be interested in hearing it. Comment what you think down in the comment box. Subscribe if you want more Walking Dead. I also do comics from around the world. I do the Korean comic, Tower of God, Japanese manga, One Piece, and an anime review every week, as well as some random videos. And I'm hoping once the show starts back up for The Walking Dead, I will have 3 videos out a week at least, and I'll be covering The Walking Dead comic whenever I'll be reviewing it at least whenever a new issue comes out. So yeah, got off topic. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter for updates on when new videos are coming out, and thank you for all of your support. I will see you guys around.